Today we are looking at one of the strangest retro games you probably ever heard of, Captain Novolin. Imagine a 1992 Super Nintendo game where a hero is a diabetic superhero fighting aliens disguised as junk food. It's educational, it's weird, and boy it's infamous all at once. Let's dive in. Captain Novolin was developed by Sculptured Software and published by Raya Systems, launching exclusively on the Super Nintendo Entertainment Systems in North America 1992. Project was funded by insulin manufacturer Novo Nordisk and US National Institute of Health, and the character's name referenced Novo Nordisk's Novo Insulin brand. It was first game in Raya's Health Hero series, which were educational, health-themed games that were released for the Super Nintendo, often partnered with hospitals, diabetes foundations and health organizations. Roughly 10,000 copies were distributed to the hospitals so diabetic children could play or borrow the game. Ads focused on medical journals rather than gaming magazines. In the game, aliens led by villain Blubberman kidnap Pinesville Mayor Gooden, who only has 48 hours of insulin. Captain Novolin must rescue him while managing his own blood sugar, because of course he has to. This 2D platformer requires you to collect healthy foods while avoiding junk food aliens. Before each stage, a doctor or other personnel give diet advice and suggest meal plan. Captain's only attack is to jump enemies and press down to stomp. The game never explains this clearly. Touching enemies or collecting too much food knocks your blood sugar out of the safe zone. Between levels you check your glucose and adjust insulin. Players can input 3-digit code from their doctor to customize injection frequency. Stars provide diabetic facts, question marks quiz you on them, awarding points and extra lives. How to put this nicely, the game graphics are pretty horrendous. Sprites are large and animation smooth, but overall graphic designs feels amateurish. Colors swing from dull to eye-hurting and screen can slow down when more than 2 characters appear. Because Captain's sprite is huge, there's little room to dodge tiny food items or enemies. The music is repetitive and sound effects are minimal or non-existent. The game has 8 short levels that can be completed in under 20 minutes. Each begins with the meal plan and ends with insulin injection. There are no checkpoints, 4 hits and blood sugar missed at restart level. The captain cannot scroll backwards so missed food items are lost. You must pick up exactly 1 of each healthy food, no more, no less. The game doesn't clearly show sugar content, so it's easy to misjudge. Overeating triggers collapse and this forces you to replay the stage. Only 1 action button is used. Holding down while landing is required to stomp enemies. The concept itself is unusual. It was designed to teach children about meal planning, insulin and blood sugar monitoring. Sponsorship by Novo Nordisk led to 10,000 cloner copies for hospitals and marketing appeared in health magazines. At title screen, doctors or parents could input an optional 3-digit code. The code adjusted in-game insulin regimen and meal plan to match a real child's prescribed routine. This meant the game wasn't just a generic eat healthy, avoid junk food advice. It could be personalized to a player's actual treatment plan. For example, the frequency of blood sugar checks, carb presence and insulin dosages presented in the game would align with the doctor's instructions. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Nintendo cited Captain Novolin at 1993 US Senate hearings on video game violence as an example of its educational lineup. There's also a random speedboat level and some players joke that Captain's sprite resembles a certain real estate tycoon. Captain Novolin holds a unique foothold on the intersection of gaming and health education. On the one hand, it's an early attempt to represent children with diabetes through a superhero, featuring a customizable insulin regimen and trivia designed to reinforce healthy habits. For some players, seeing a hero with same condition and learning about the meal planning might have been both empowering and informative. On the other hand, the simple graphics and repetitive music, large sprites that crowd the screen, and among the other issues make the game more frustrating than engaging. With only 8 brief stages, Captain Novolin feels more like an educational pamphlet in a game form than a fully fledged platformer. How you interpret these qualities is up to you. If you're intrigued about the unusual game titles or curious about the early efforts to blend video games and healthcare, Captain Novolin offers an interesting case study. If you prioritize actual gameplay and depth, I cannot advise to try this out. Ultimately, this game's legacy lies in its weirdness and niche. The decision how to enjoy it or whether to explore it at all remains open for each viewer. Time to get some health snacks for everybody, or a nice slice of pizza. Anyways, see you next time.